And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. And Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. I'm Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, still a little under the weather today. We're live here in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup right next to Fisherman's Landing in San Diego, and we have a great show for you today. Captain Alec Robbie from the Polaris Supreme is here in our studio, and we're going to have a great time talking fishing, so you stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
You've heard all about it. You know the anglers catching fish have it, so what's holding you back? It's a fact. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. You can get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com is for everyone, whether you have your own boat, fish on your friend's boat, or a sport boat. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. So bottom line is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, you're probably missing a lot of bites. Membership costs less than $50 of gas, and that's for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, use the special code to save $20 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
This program is paid for by Let's Talk Hookup.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. Pete Gray here. As I said, Rock Cod Rick's still a little under the weather. I'm sure he'll be back next weekend. But what a great guest in our remote studio here in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup. Captain Alec Robbie from the Polaris Supreme. Good morning, Alec.
Good morning, Pete.
Hey, great to have you. And wow, what a beautiful day and a nice time to be thinking and talking fishing, right?
Oh, it sure is. Everyone's super excited, myself included, and it's just perfect conditions, ready to get out there.
Yeah, and there's fish around, right?
You know, that's what I hear. And, you know, people have been sneaking out, you know, between the opens and closures of the bay and whatever, and they're catching bluefin and they're catching yellowtail, and it's, you know, it's happening. And we don't even have nearly the amount of people trying and scouting and probing normal. So if we're only getting out with minimal amount of prospecting, and we're still getting some. Who knows what really what volume is really out there?
Oh yeah. Can you imagine once the fleet gets out there?
Oh, they'll have a good handle on it, and I'm really excited. If it's this good right now, once we get some horsepower out there, it'll be nice to see what transpires.
And we're staging up. It's kind of like people are starting to, you know, make decisions, and hopefully, you know, the stay-at-home rule will get lifted and things will start running, and we'll get rolling here soon.
Oh yes, I cannot wait for the anglers to get on the boats, because everyone will be at the rail now.
Yeah.
They'll be ready to fish. There'll be a lot of horsepower at the rails. No one will be watching a movie in the galley now. I guarantee it.
Everybody wants to go fishing, though, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they're ready to get some meat.
Yeah, indeed, and have some fun.
Absolutely.
So, tell us about your job on the Polaris Supreme, and you've been around the fleet for quite some time.
Yep, I've been around for a while. I can't really count the years and whatever, but I'm 27 and I've been doing it since I was in and out since I was 15, 16. Summers in high school, summers in college on the Pacific Dawn, and working with Brandon Hayward, kind of doing the local kind of things. Once I graduated, I moved to the Red Rooster 3, where I spent a couple of years doing the year-round full-time long-range scene. And then in 2016, I moved over to the Supreme and spent that with Tommy and did a year on the boat. And then a year after that, I started running trips. And so for the past 3 years, I've been running the boat with Tommy, and it's been a fantastic experience. That's kind of my elevator pitch summary of myself.
Yeah, that's cool. You and Tommy are the guys on the Polaris Supreme. He's not on the boat, you're on the boat, and vice versa, right?
Oh yes, exactly. And it's a great person to learn from. And when I was kindergarten or whatever, sick I had to stay home from school or whatever, it was what VHS went in the VHS player, Deep Color and June Heat. So it was quite kind of starstruck once I got to work for the man. And now it's he's a work associate and he's a friend, and it's like, wow, I'm working with that guy now.
Yeah.
All that, the legend.
Yeah, for sure. Polaris Supreme, great long-range boat, one of the legendary built long-range boats. And kind of size up the boat for those of our listeners that may not be understand what and where the Polaris Supreme does.
So the Polaris Supreme, as you said, is a long-range boat. It's one of the 90-foot boats, but it was designed to be a limited-load, long-range sport fishing boat. So, it's 90 feet long, big boat, only carries at maximum 24 people, which is a very light load as it is. Sometimes it gets a little bit less, depending on the charter's preference there. But so it's a huge boat, a lot of room, low to the water, great fishability, very comfortable, a lot of staterooms. At max, you're going to be sleeping in the same room as one other person, if not less. So the structure is very good. It's a great fishable boat. I think all these pool boats are really designed well to fish. Really shallow.
Designed by the man, the fish.
Yes, he did something right when he welded it, or when he chose the design. They're fishy boats, especially for the sport fishing from Southern California way down into Mexico. Very low to the water, great bait capacity, and it's really outstanding. And I really like how they were designed. And I really like the Supreme as far as the load it takes, the size of the boat, and the accommodations for it. Super comfortable, super,
I've fished the boat many times, and it's super comfortable, super light loads, and just 2 people per stateroom. Very, very nice operation for sure. So what gets you excited about long range fishing? That's the pinnacle. There's nothing better than long range fishing.
Well, what gets me excited about long range fishing, it's gone back since I was mentioning when I was a young buck way back in the day. It's mainly going where others can't go.
Yeah.
You're going on something comfortable, something very efficient with a lot of gear, a lot of comforts of home, and we're taking you to a remote place.
Yeah.
Super remote places. Some places 1,000 miles south, some places a couple hundred. All the little nooks and crannies off Baja for yellowtail, for wahoo, for grouper, just out of range of the pongas and yachts. Or if a yacht does get there, they don't have the bait capacity that we could fish. There's just a lot of strong points in it, and it's just such a unique way to fish that our area has capitalized on. And really, it's unique in the area, and it's unique in the world. It's a great destination to come, and a great way to fish Baja.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the ultimate. And you can go where the fish are. That's the whole thing about long range fishing is fish aren't around. You have your code group. Somebody else is on them somewhere else. You can pick up and run.
Exactly. If we're not on them here, we get a call, we go out there, or when it's scratchy everywhere, we could spread out, try a lot of spots, have a huge coverage area, and we can get it dialed in. So it's great working together with the other boats, and it's great having that ability. And the trips are usually staggered to where it works out good, to where we're fishing remote destinations either by ourselves with a couple other boats maybe, but it's never all too crowded, which is super nice. And the range is great, the accommodations are great, and it's just nice being just out of reach of the Cabo crowd or the mag or whatever sort of yacht traffic and other things there are there. It's really nice being remote. Doesn't mean that we don't get to come into that contact with that sometimes, because like I said, if we have the ability to go 1,000 miles, we can go on certain trips. But
sometimes the fish are right in our backyard.
Yes, so we also have the ability to fish.
Like last year.
Exactly,
So do you have trips that stand out from last year for you on the Polaris Supreme? What were some of your favorite trips? How many days and what'd you catch?
My favorite kind of trip for the Supreme, well, favorites, it always changes, but 7 to 8 day trips are just so enjoyable nowadays. We hit such a good stride because we can either go to Guadalupe Island and fish that island very effectively, have a lot of time to commit to that, with the whole checking into Ensenada and returning. That whole stride is good. Those 7 to 8 day trips are fantastic for that. Or the other route, getting the variety, going down the beach, down to the ridge or down to the rocks. Very effective. You have like a day to get all your gear together so you're ready for nonstop action. And the action at the ridge has been fantastic for wahoo, yellowtail, dorado, grouper, a lot of good stuff. And the ridge especially, it's been super nice because you could just in a very short area, you can catch pelagics like tuna and wahoo and even marlin sometimes, and then kind of get a little bit shallower and get that yellowtail and that grouper, and kind of break up the day if you're fishing tuna, and then it kind of gets slower, like, let's go anchor up for grouper, try for a trophy and maybe get 1 or 2 or 20, it depends. And then when the current kind of flows right, you're like, all right, let's try for wahoo, and you're not hauling miles, you're just going on a different part of the high spot. So it's
pretty amazing. What an amazing fishery that is down on the ridge, huh?
It really is.
Did it take a while for you to learn it? I mean, after fishing locally here with Captain Brandon Hayward and of course Captain Pat Kavanaugh, did it take a while for you to start to learn those things? Tommy is very good at breaking you in and getting you familiar with it, and I don't think it took a whole long time to at least get me the feel for it. I mean, I learn every day, and so does Tommy. He's been doing it for 30 years, but we both learn something new every year. Nothing's the same twice. So the trait of a captain, in my opinion, is to be adaptive to each scenario, because the ridge today is different than the ridge was in 1980, whatever. And it could be totally different this year.
Correct. So that trait that every captain has taught me, the resilience, the adaptability, that's the main trait to take away from it. And then the general premise of, current and water condition and temperatures, all that it translates almost anywhere. But, as far as the logistical mindset goes, that took me a little bit longer for it to be second nature. I used to have to really map it out, my trip, travel day here, travel at night, do this, start working up, yada, yada, yada. Now it's kind of like a little more second nature. So that took a while for that to be second nature. And I did have to do like a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, go to the ridge. Do I fish San Pablo on the way home? Do I do this? Do I go offshore? Do I stay here one more day and just drive the whole time? So that took a while for that to be a little more second nature. But, at the end of the day, you're going fishing, you leave and you come home, and that's the way I think about it every time I go out. We're going fishing. No matter how bad or good the report is when we're pulling away from the dock,
we're going fishing. What better thing could that be, huh?
That's exactly it. I'm going fishing with 7 crew members and 24 buddies. That's all I think about it.
And eating well and living well, for sure.
Oh, what could be better, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Well, as you can hear, we have a great show lined up for you today. Alec is a wealth of knowledge, talking fishing here. And you want to join us, 833-288-0973 is our line, 833-288-0973. And wow, what a prize Alec has brought in for us this morning. It's a custom Polaris Supreme Seeker rod. It's a BSC 7460 rod, and then also a Polaris Supreme Pelican tumbler. This is like a pretty cool tumbler. Really special tumbler, right?
Oh, really special. It's great for those of you who like your coffee hot, or if you like cold things, your drink's cold, and it keeps it cold for like ever. Forever is a big term.
The most insulated one I've ever seen. It's bulletproof.
Very bulletproof and great warranty along with it. You know, they make great products. The tumblers, or this coffee tumbler is fantastic, but it's just a testament to, you know,
Pelican makes good stuff.
Exactly.
There's no doubt. Yeah. And tell us about that rod. What are you going to catch with that rod?
That rod is perfect for, I don't know, the possibilities are endless. 30 to 50 pound. It's nice. Perfect overnight rod for, you know, fly lining for any of the bluefin around. Bluefin are kind of, it's hard to say a good bluefin rod because sometimes they're 40 pounds, 80 pounds, 200 pounds, but, you know, it's great for fishing 40, 50 pound effectively, fishing the jig. You can yo-yo with that thing.
Catch a 100-pound tuna at Guadalupe with that?
You could easily catch a 100-pound tuna at Guadalupe or right out here with that thing. It's great. The only problem is that I told my crew about it, and they were trying to keep it on the boat instead of bringing it to the studio. Yeah.
Well, hopefully whoever wins it's going to come bring it back on the boat and fish with you for sure.
Just get some use in it. That's what I'm hoping. You know, a rod's only as good as getting out there and fishing it. Let's get it out. Let's get it out the studio, out of your house and into the water, right?
Yeah, for sure. Indeed. Well, when we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls, talking more with Alec. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
Have you always wanted a boat but don't want all the hassles? Then you need to join Freedom Boat Club, where you get hassle-free boating. Freedom Boat Club buys the boats, you enjoy them, and they do the rest. Freedom Boat Club takes care of the slip fee, maintenance, insurance, and cleaning. You have access to a fleet of great fishing and family boats ready to go in the water at Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, and 190-plus locations across the world. For more information, check freedomboatclub.com or visit them at Dana Landing and Cabrillo Isle Marina.
Hi there, I'm Hayden from Fastlane Sailing and Kayaking, Southern California's go-to spot for Hobie fishing kayaks, right on the water in Mission Bay. Let me tell you, we have big things going on in the shop this time of year. This November marks the 40th year anniversary of Fastlane Sailing and Kayaking, and as a family-owned and operated business, my family and I would like to thank all of our friends and customers for the support over the decades. We also have the brand new 2020 model year Hobie fishing kayaks, introducing new features like the automatically retracting kick-up fins, as well as the revolutionary new Mirage Drive 360, which allows you to rotate and steer your Mirage Drive 360 degrees, giving you 100% control over your fishing kayak. Hobie's also released a new line of more economic options, like the new Mirage Passport 10.5 and 12.0, coming in at only $13.99 and $15.99 respectively, while still including the Hobie Mirage Drive with comfortable raised seats and tons of fishing features. Get down to our shop, Fastlane Sailing and Kayaking, right on the water in Mission Bay, and see it all for yourself. Or check us out online at fastlanekayaking.com.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
You know, the ranch is unique. It's one of the few places in the world where you can still drive ATVs up the beach. We have fishing from the beach. We have dive trips that we run to Pomo in a number of different spots. Kayaking, of course, has been real big. We were one of the first hotels to introduce kayaking. The ranch is small, you know, it's intimate, it's 34 rooms, so everyone gets to know everyone. The old saying, where everyone knows your name. Well, truly at Rancho Leonero, the employees do know pretty darn near all our guests' names. And what's even more interesting is most of the guests know each other's names. Very personal, very intimate, and a special, special environment. 2 miles of beachfront, a mile on either side of the hotel. Rancho Leonero is really the last of the old-style Baja fishing resorts. 1-800-646-2252. 1-800-646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. I'll personally guarantee your best fishing experience and vacation at Rancho Leonero.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find the location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. Captain Alec, Robbie from the Polaris Supreme. We're giving away a custom rod from the Polaris Supreme along with a Pelican tumbler. That's a great gift. Again, 833-288-0973. All the lines are full, but keep on trying. You'll get through here. We have a good show lined up for you in a couple hours, and another hour and a half left to get it done. So Roger in Fullerton is going to be first up. Good morning, Roger. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, gentlemen. First I got a couple questions. Alex, I didn't hear, does your boat have refrigerated salt water? And Pete, is your fishing partner or Ricky going to get tested for corona? Do you think he might be sick with the coronavirus?
No, I think he's just got the common cold, but he might get tested. Yeah, but he'll be fine. Yeah, he's tough for sure. And what about spray brine there?
So the refrigerated seawater, we do have all our fish holds are refrigerated seawater, and we basically flood our fish holds with ocean water and chill it down to 30 to 31 degree water, and so the second your fish goes in it, it remains at the optimum temperature for the duration of the trip. And
nice.
Believe me, my freezer's full of the bits and pieces of other fish that the passengers don't want, whitefish and yellowtail and whatever, and so pristine. And it keeps those tuna in such great shape, especially just getting it right to the processor, to Fisherman's Processing, right to 5-star, right to all those places. It's no better. It's in no better
and
hands.
It lasts so well, especially like I know Fisherman's Processing offers those 5 mil bags. Put in a 5 mil bag, you got a year out of it at least.
Oh yes, it's fantastic.
No, the processing has changed the lives of many of us as far as just the quality of the fish that we're taking home.
Yes, and if you care,
and the brine too.
Yes,
that's the RSW and all that. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I couldn't imagine a better way to fit it in kind of the sport fishing schedule, like routine, than the way it is now with the RSW and then the processing right away and that product. It's so great. I mean, it's just the best way to treat your fish and eat it in a year.
And eat it too, yeah, for sure. Hey, Roger, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Appreciate that. Next up is Robert in Los Angeles. Thanks for joining us, Robert.
Hey, good morning, Pete and Alec. And wishing Ricky gets well pretty soon. Be out there in the water.
Absolutely.
I got a couple questions, I guess. First question, do you still have a 3-day available, I think, coming up mid-May, Alec? And on that 3-day, what's the fishing ground that you guys would hit? And maybe what kind of setup would be needed for that 3-day trip? Thank you.
It's a very fluid situation. Right now, that May trip is kind of uncertain. If we did fish it, it would for sure be this local bluefin. And, they're getting it right now. Little skiffs that are able to get out within the parameters of our regulations. So, but we do have a range to go 100, 200, like 100 and some odd, 150 miles. We have just a great range to cover everything, but I'd imagine we'd stay pretty close, possibly fish around Clemente. It's very hard to really pinpoint where the fish will be then, but my best guess would be definitely local bluefin and even yellowfin. There has been a couple confirmed yellowfin.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. How this early?
What in the heck are we?
Yeah, in April.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that I would say that 3-day that is on the chopping block right now, but all our June trips, the 2 days and 3 days there, those are looking a lot more promising.
Yeah, for sure.
With the situation and the
yeah. So do you do a lot of 3 and 4 day trips during the summer?
4 days, not so much. It's mainly becoming 2 and 3 days now.
2 and 3 day trips.
Yeah,
okay.
and it's just a great get out, try the boat, and come on back. With the 2 days, 3 days is a great amount of time to spend on a long range boat, but we've had a lot of demand or a lot of requests for people who want a short trip. They don't want to commit, like they never tried long range fishing. They like, I want to try out the boat, see what its fish is like, but I don't want to take too much time off work yet. You know, and I agree with that. You don't need to jump right into a week-long trip if you don't know if you like it or not. Come out, see if you like the routine, how the crew is, the accommodations, and I could do this for 8 days. Or like, you know what? I like going out on a skiff, or I like going to wherever instead. Come and try it out. But
I'll tell you, anybody that goes on a long range trip or sample trip like a 2 day or a 3 day, I don't think you get very many people that go, I don't want to do this anymore. I think it's like you get hooked pretty quickly on long range fishing.
It's the conservative people that have that mindset, and they have every right to test it out. But you're right. It's
pretty much like this is the game right here.
For people who love to fish, you're fishing the whole time, and you're living in such comfort the whole time that it usually ends in a very good experience. And, a lot of people have that, let's just try out a 2 day or a day and a half. I don't know if it's too much time on the water. 2 years later, they're like, I want this 10 day to be a 12 day. It's they just don't want to go in, and it's really makes it a very great experience.
No doubt. Hey, good luck on that trip, Albert. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. That does free up 833-288-0973. Dave's answering the phones as well as running the board for us in the fan studios there. So be patient when you call and be nice, and he'll take care of you there. One of the big cruise ships must be going through there. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump back on the phones. Don in Woodland Hills, you're next up, Don.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Alec. Hey, Ricky, buddy. Be well soon, buddy. Hey, Alec, great talking to you. And 2 questions for you. Number one, what's the biggest surprise you've had fishing-wise on the boat, and what's your favorite fish to catch?
Well, I'm going to answer that in reverse order. What's my favorite fish to catch? And that changes by the hour. There's the local fish. I love calico bass fishing sometimes. I love halibut fishing. I love sea bass fishing. Those times I spent with Brandon doing that, super enjoyable. It's the most enjoyable way to get zero sleep in a 2-3 day span.
Yeah, what is it about those things? It's like you just like they're just like addictive.
They're so addictive. But I love fly fishing for trout. I've been to Argentina fishing those Dorado down there.
Really?
They are different than the Dorado we are familiar with.
Yeah.
They're crazy river monsters. So I'm sorry I can't give you a definite, this is my favorite fish to catch. But I guess if I were to have to choose right now, if I'm long range fishing, I love fishing grouper with big bait or yellowfin tuna with big bait. I love fishing a live skipjack or a live yellowfin.
For a grouper?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You'll get a 40-pounder will try to eat, or smaller ones will try to eat it, but you get them up to 120 pounds.
Oh, man.
And that's a fight. They eat it, and they are pit bulling you. They want to get back to their house.
Yeah.
They want to get free. And
how do you stop them?
Just brute strength and the biggest rig you got, and a lot of times you don't. And that's the beauty of it. You know it's coming. If it's going to bite, it's going to be something big, and it's up to you to straight stop it. And sometimes you break 200-pound test, and sometimes you pull the hook, and sometimes
just lockdown drags.
Yeah, and sometimes you bring them up, and then it's coming, and then you look down, and it looks like a mat, like a runner for the galley coming up, just a big brown object, and you're like, oh my gosh, like
that's a big one.
So that I love that sort of fishing right now. So I don't mean to not give you a definitive answer, but
sure,
right now that may be my favorite one to personally do. But ain't nothing better than a wide open wahoo bite, tuna bites, anything that bites, I'm loving it. Biggest surprise I've had on the boat. There's a whole number of surprises. I mean, there's sometimes when we've ran the boat and I found another sunken boat. That was a surprise. One time we were fishing for those grouper and I was fly lining one of those, or I was not, a passenger, I was encouraging him to fish a skipjack for a grouper, great spot.
Fly lining.
Or excuse me, not fly lining a grouper, fly lining a skipjack.
A skipjack. You fly line the skipjack for the grouper.
Yeah, zero weight.
They'll go down?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Or the grouper will come up. They're more of a midwater. They bite a lot of that midwater. People think they bite right on the rocks in the bottom. Most of the time, they kind of come up. I mean, for these shallow water kind of broomtail or Gulf grouper, they kind of come up midway. So, and the skipjack, I mean, it dives 20 feet. They're almost to the bottom in some places, or 40 feet or 50 feet, or even if you hook them in the breast or the butt, they'll really dive down to that danger zone.
Yeah.
And they're already kind of disoriented from being handled on the boat.
Sure.
So they're just the perfect target for those.
How deep a water are you fishing? You're fishing offshore, of course, on the ridge and stuff like that, but how deep a water?
Sometimes 60 feet, sometimes 100 feet. There's some deep water grouper that's more of a dropper looping kind of thing, and those could be, 60 fathoms, 50 fathoms, but for those bigger ones, it's kind of a 60 to 100 feet. I've kind of noticed, but sometimes you get surprised. Like that time, I was encouraging a passenger to do it. He did it, got hooked up. I see it coming up. I'm like, God dang it, it's a shark. And then before I know it, 10 feet behind the stern, it was like a 600-pound marlin, black marlin, tries to jump out of the water, doesn't even get past its pec fins. It's so huge.
Wow.
That was a cool surprise. One time we were wahoo fishing offshore, trolled by a kelp. Oh, hook up, bringing it in, long, skinny thing, like cool, a wahoo, and it's a short-bill spearfish. So
wow. The ocean is full of surprises. That's the cool thing.
It sure is. You have a good basis of what you're going to catch and what you're going to see, but it will keep you on your toes in all forms, both fishing and random boats floating in the water and rockets in the sky that they
lot to see.
There really is.
What was your other question, Don?
Nope, that was it. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, Don, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. All right, that does free up 833-288-0973. Tom in University City, you're next up on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Tom. Oh, we lost Tom. Okay, how about Mark and Santee?
Hey, how you doing today?
Great.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, Alec. Hey, Alec, I got a question about two questions really. When you're hooking your bait, do you prefer the hook through the nose or through the back or through the fin? And the second question is, how much bait do you take on with you?
Okay, so hooking the bait completely depends on condition, and I can talk an hour about just this, but kind of in a nutshell, if you use any weight, you really want to hook it in the nose or the forward part of the body. Sometimes you have like a smelt or like something that has a weak nose, so you want to hook it like in the shoulders, but definitely in the forward part with any weight. Most of the time the nose or something like that. If any tuna are really close to the boat, and they need a good bait swimming by, I love breast hooking. Basically, if you were to guess where the heart would be, I hook it right there. That's kind of a go big or go home bonsai bait, because you hook it there, you're going to get that bait to swim at full throttle, but only for I'd bank on 30 to 45 seconds, minute at most. You hook it, you could wing him out there. There's a lot of gristle right there. Get it right towards those boils. Hopefully he swims by, or the bait swims by those fish going crazy, and it'll entice them into a bite. But you can't soak baits for all that long, because you're hooking them in their vital organs and they kind of die. Or a lot of times for people that are just trying this out and aren't that great at casting, I encourage them to hook it, in their, we call it butt hooking, which is
like under those finlets.
Yes, right where their rectum.
So that's different than your belly hook, what you were just describing.
I call it the breast hook.
Breast hook. Okay.
Basically, where their pec fins are, where you think their heart would be.
Yeah.
That's where the breast hook is. And then the butt hook is kind of, you'll see their anal fins, and you'll literally sometimes see their anus. You don't want to go any further back. If you go further back, you're hooking them in their propeller and you're ruining their running gear. So you want to hook them right in the anus or maybe a little bit before, just in the aft part of the body. 2 reasons. Number one, if you're experienced and if you're inexperienced and you're having a tough time casting, you hook it there, you let the bait out, kind of to the level of the reel, and you can just kind of swing it out like a wrecking ball, plop it on the water. And when it hits the water, the most tension is going to be on the butt, the aft part of the bait. And what that does is it lays the bait facing away from you. So it'll swim away from you. So it'll have less of a chance of coming back under the boat. And if it does come back under the boat, you can put it in gear or tighten it up, and it will pull the butt back to you and point the bait
them to
away.
the right direction.
And then, I love encouraging new people or less experienced people to try that way, because it is very
keeps
good.
the bait more lively, and then you have to change your bait more often when you do that, right?
Exactly, but it at least is giving them effective fishing time with the bait given, because if they hook it in the nose and they tighten it up, a lot of times they'll just kind of lead it back to the boat. But it just all depends on condition. And so that's that. Bait, what was the other question? Oh, bait capacity. All right, so let me think here. I gotta do some math.
He's got to do some math here. Polaris Supreme holds. The bottom line is Polaris Supreme holds a lot of bait. There's no doubt about it. When you go to the Everingham Brothers and you're going on, say, an 8-day trip, you'll take a lot of scoops of bait, right, Alec?
Right. Yeah, we hold a little over 220 scoops of bait.
220 scoops of bait.
Yeah, we'll have 45 in one slammer, more or less. We'll have 100. And 25, 25, 25. And the bait has ridiculously good water flow. That's something we really push for. Not less bait, but way more flow than needed, which keeps that bait pristine the whole time. And that's sardines loaded in San Diego. That's not to mention the native bait we'll catch along the way, like I was kind of mentioning earlier in the show. Sometimes we use skipjack, sometimes we use chunks, sometimes there's little mackerel around. Any chance we get, if we have a spare tank, we want to load up on that, because that could be what they're on. And a lot of times it makes a huge difference. Squid sometimes that are out there, and
flying fish.
Exactly. Yeah, there's just so many things out there that the fish love keying in on that are effective for fishing, for sure. And we've even had the problem of not having room for that native bait, so we're like, dang it, we're too full of San Diego sardines. And just
that's a good problem, though.
Having too much bait's a great problem.
Yeah.
It always is. You can never have too much bait.
Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. And when we come back, more of your phone calls, more fishing with Captain Alec Robbie from the Polaris Supreme. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's Sport Fishing Voices. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
This is Captain Art Taylor of the Searcher. 2020 is the golden anniversary of Cape Polaris and Searcher. Come help us celebrate 50 amazing years in sport fishing. Searcher has a great crew, awesome food, air-conditioned cabins and galley, and an RSW system to preserve your catch. Our 2020 schedule is available now, so this is a golden opportunity to make your reservation online at searchersportfishing.com or call Celia or Callie at 619-226-2403.
Hey, it's time for the 30-second Power Pro Seminar. Here's the hot tip for those of us that like to fish with small reels for big fish. Fill your spools with Power Pro Max Quattro. It's 25% thinner than standard Power Pro. That means you're going to get more line on that small reel. Plus, you can fly line your bait more effectively. Here's another tip about Power Pro Max Quattro. Your casting distance will increase in addition to increasing your spool capacity. So downsize your tackle and use Power Pro Max Quattro. Check PowerPro.com for more information.
Dana Landing in Mission Bay is truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. This is Chelsea. Come see me and our expert fishing staff for just about anything you need for a great day of on-the-water fun. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing has you covered with the Blackjack, perfect for up to 4 anglers, or the Impulse with up to 6. Dana Landing has a huge selection with everything you need to catch small bay bass or giant tuna. We will be sure to set you up with the right gear. We even offer reel repair and Mexican and California fishing licenses. Don't forget the amazing deli at Dana Landing with all the food, ice, and beverages you need to complete your day. Need freshwater tackle? Head to East County Bait and Tackle with all the finest rods and reels, the hottest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has an amazing staff who love to share their passion for fishing. East County Bait and Tackle Local is located at the end of the 67 freeway on Main Street in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Launch Ramp on San Diego's Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
For over 5 decades, Lee Palm Sport Fishing has set the standard in long-range fishing that they pioneered long ago. The Red Rooster 3 sets a new standard of excellence. The Red Rooster 3 is one of the most modern, quiet, and fastest long-range vessels in the fleet. They have handpicked the finest crew to make your trip a memorable one. The Red Rooster 3 offers trips from 3 to 18 days and runs year-round to the best fishing spots on the planet. Ride the Red Rooster 3 once and you'll be back again. Call the Red Rooster 3 at 619-224-3857 or see them on the web at redrooster3.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network. Hey, Pete Gray here, along with Captain Alec Robbie from the Polaris Supreme, having a great time talking long-range fishing and a lot more here for sure. You know, we just heard a spot for Dana Landing, and I want to thank all of our sponsors, everybody out there that's helping out, enjoying Let's Talk Hookup. Please support our sponsors because they are making this show possible and wouldn't be able to do it without them through these difficult times. There's no doubt about it. But Dana Landing, man, I talked to Steve Pennard yesterday. They are loaded for bear and they're ready to go. They're open and, of course, they have food to go and they have tackle and all the great things that you need. And now that the Mission Bay is open, you can stop by there and get loaded up with everything you need to go fishing, licenses and everything for sure. And a lot of times your boat, you get down to the launch ramp and your boat won't start or something goes wrong. They have the gear to get you back on the water and they have spare batteries and things like that. So Dana Landing right next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay, and hopefully they're going to open that Dana Launch Ramp here real soon. I know South Shore's Launch Ramp in Mission Bay is open, but they still haven't opened Dana Landing Launch Ramp for some reason. I don't know why, but hopefully they'll get that open very, very soon. And also, I want to tell you, I just heard from our good friends, the Christiansens at Point Loma Seafoods, and they sweetened the pot today for the prize. They're adding a $50 gift certificate to Point Loma Seafoods right next to the San Diego Landings in Point Loma, along with that custom rod from the Polaris Supreme, along with the Pelican Tumbler. You're going to get a $50 gift certificate to Point Loma Seafoods right next to San Diego Landings in Point Loma. They're open 11 to 6 every day, 7 days a week. And don't forget, this week coming up, Wednesday through Sunday, they're going to start their sushi again, which is just fantastic. I can't wait for that. Well, hey, right now, we're going to talk to Mr. Mike Lum from Fred Hall Shows and Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, great to have you on the show. Of course, today we're talking Captain Rollo, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things going on. Even with everything being shut down for now, we've been staying very active with the Rollo Kids program, Captain Rollo's program. And I wanted to call in and remind everybody that the annual raffle that everybody loves so much and that we promote all year long, that drawing normally takes place the last day of the Fred Hall Show in Del Mar. And due to the circumstances, we delayed it, thinking that we were going to be able to do it the last day of the later Fred Hall Del Mar show, but that hasn't come to pass. So what we're going to do is do the drawing anyway, and we're going to do it on May the 24th, and we'll just do it at the Fred Hall Show offices there, and then we'll notify the winners the following day. But because we've extended it, we've also continued to sell tickets, and thankfully, we've had a lot of very generous supporters over the last few weeks calling us saying, what can I do to help the Captain Rollo's program? And so we've graciously accepted their donations and sold them additional raffle tickets. And so we're going to continue to do that until we get up to the day before the drawing, which will be May 24th. If anybody is interested in buying any of those tickets, the easiest way to do it at this point is to simply send an email to tim@rollokids.org and just put your name and phone number and that you want to buy some raffle tickets, and Tim will respond. It's unfortunately illegal in California to sell raffle tickets online, so all I can do is have you send him an email with a phone number, and he'll get right back to you and take your order. And quite a few people have been doing that. The prize list is very impressive. You'll have a chance to win some of $30,000, I think, is the total on the raffle prizes this year. And one of the prizes that comes to mind is Ranger 85 is giving an entire charter. So you can take 30 of your closest friends, up to 30 of your closest friends, on a trip and have the entire boat. So that is such a
on an
generous
overnight
offer.
charter?
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's
Wow.
a one-day charter. It's a one-day charter.
One day. Full day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty
that'll
good.
be a
yeah.
lot of fun. Yeah.
That's
and then,
that's
of course,
going to be awesome.
The Royal Polaris has got a 10-day trip up for grabs there. We've got a number of really nice gift certificates. We've got Camp Chef Pellet Grill, their newest state-of-the-art one. We've got Accurate Reels, Shimano Reels, and a number of different things. We've also got one of the Pro Power commercial line winding machines. This is the kind of line winder you see when you go into tackle stores and they've got that machine on their bench. Well, those things sell for a couple $1,000 minimum, and we're going to give one away. And so somebody's going to be lucky and have one of those things in their garage or in their shop and be able to do their own reels going forward. So anyway, the point is, tons of great prizes. The raffle tickets are $10 a piece, and we'll be doing that drawing on May 24th. So that's something you can do if you want to support the cause while we're all kind of on hold here. Also wanted to mention
and here's
that
the crazy thing too, Mike, is that we're actually with the postponement of the Fred Hall show. Normally they sell thousands of tickets at the Del Mar show. Your chances are way up from previous years of winning some of those prizes, right?
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, we really, it's very painful not to, for everyone not to have the opportunity to be at the Fred Hall show in Del Mar. I know lots of people are really sitting on inventory that they were anticipating selling because of it, and of course with everything being closed. But we're going to get past it, and once we do, things are going to go crazy. So we're hoping that that's sooner than later. Wanted to also mention that we've gotten a lot of calls, people wanting to know what's going on with Reel a Week. And you might recall that the last several years, Reel a Week has grown into a very popular deal for the Rollo organization. We normally kick it off at Day at the Docks, and then we come on your show and we promote it, and it's been a wonderful thing. Well, with all this going on, we were very, very reluctant to introduce Reel a Week right in the middle of everything else. So what we're doing is we're going to have a revised version of Reel a Week. It's going to start a little bit later than normal. The first drawing is going to take place in mid-August, and we're not ready to start selling tickets for that just yet. We're still working on them. We do have all the reels in place. We know what we're doing. And one thing that's exciting is the last several years we've limited ticket sales on that to the first 1,500 tickets, and then we cut it off. Because of the abbreviated year, we're going to lower that to 1,000 tickets. So there's only going to be 1,000 tickets available for sale once we start selling them. And so if you love the Reel a Week program, which we all do, when you hear that announcement, which will be sometime in the next couple of weeks, don't hesitate jumping on that and getting some tickets, because that'll be weekly drawings for very, very top-end reels. I think last year the average value of those reels was somewhere up around $400. So
nice.
It was very,
a lot
very
going on
impressive.
with Captain Rollo's friends of Rollo. A lot going on, and then just teasing people. I know we have a lot of used tackle that's been generously donated, and there's going to be an avenue to get some super buys on some amazing used tackle coming down the road, right?
Yeah, we have that product safely stored in a number of locations, and we have never, ever seen as much quality tackle that we have in our possession right now, thanks to all the generous donors over this last year. And we'll continue to collect more if somebody wants to donate more. And that can be dropped off at Dana Landing, or give us a call, or send Tim an email, tim@rollokids.org, and we'll make arrangements to pick it up. But when the time comes, and I don't know exactly where that's going to be, we're going to announce a very large and impressive used tackle sale, and I'm sure that's going to be an exciting day. Again, that's something that we normally did at Day at the Docks, but missed that opportunity this year. So we're working on it. As soon as things open up, we'll have better ideas to what we're doing. And the final note on Rollo, there's Tuna Wars is uncertain at the moment. That's supposed to happen in mid-June. We're working on it every day. We'll have an answer in the next few days and an announcement coming in the next week as to what we're doing with that. But I guess the bottom line to all this is Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea program is doing well. We're continuing to get a lot of generous support, and we're looking forward to a great last half of this year, and of course next year we will be back to normal.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, for sure. All right. Mr. Mike Lum, friends of Rollo, Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea, and of course with the Fred Hall shows, we sure appreciate all that you do for taking kids fishing and taking things. So once again, you want to get tickets to this big $30,000 grand raffle drawing. It's tim@rollokids.org, right? Just send him an email.
Yep, send him an email. Make sure to include your phone number, because that's how he's going to have to get a hold of you, is to call you. That's the way we have to do it. It has to be done over the phone, not over the internet. So phone number, name, and just let him know that you want tickets, and he'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, this portion of the show is sponsored in part by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing. Not only do they have the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to the San Diego landings, like when you come back from Polaris Supreme. Hey, with Fish Pros, the market, you can purchase fresh fish, smoked fish, jerky, spices, rubs, their smoked cheese, their famous tuna burgers. They're open every day from 10 to 2. So if you're on your private boat right now, you want to bring some fish to them, get it over to Fisherman's Processing. Put it on ice, bring it to them the next day. Or you can have it, if you want to buy any of these great products from them, you can have it shipped and delivered right to your door, or they even deliver it to you too. So some super specials down right now on their smoked jerky fish, the smoked cheeses and everything. They have great specials. Pick them up at their Liberty Station location from 10 to 2 every day, or order online at fishermansprocessing.com. Phones are packed. Let's jump back into it. Let's talk to Paul in Bellflower. Good morning, Paul. Thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Alec and Pete. Hey, Alec, how did you get your start years ago? I know you were saying something about you were a young buck, but how did you get your start, and who, took you under their wing and showed you how to be a good captain?
Aha.
Oof. Well, I mean, that kind of start as a captain or start as just in the industry in general?
Just in the industry. How did you get started in the industry?
So, I mean, my dad, he got me started on fishing, kind of like every dad does, take him fishing at a trout stream, whatever, when you go camping.
Get you hooked.
Yeah, so I like that. And then from then on, I really just kind of, the stream to a lake, bugging to, this pier or a jetty. I see those boats. I want to fish on a half-day boat and a 3/4 day. Oh, they go longer, overnight. And then they go 5 days. I want to go on a long-range boat. So the desire kept going, and I always wanted to work on any of these boats. I just loved the premise, and I just started asking and got denied a lot, and I just didn't really know the end. And when it started, as far as working went, I knew Brandon Hayward back in the day, and I went fishing with him a couple times, and he's like, if you would like to start working on the boat, I got a couple buds to, you can start pinheading or helping out, or just, get your feet wet. And
sure. How old were you when you did that?
I was 15, 16.
Wow.
But, so he introduced me to a couple people. I think it was Mark Gillette on the Eclipse. But at that same time is when I talked to Pat Cavanaugh about that. He's like, hey, why don't you just do it with us
Work on the Pacific Dawn.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much working, as it's more helping out, and that at least got my feet. And then come the right time, that's when I started working for Pat, come when I was 18, and it was
And when did you get your captain's license?
I got my captain's license when I was 21, and kind of immediate, that was when I was on the Red Rooster. And so from there, I was working on the Rooster, and I was working with Brandon at that time, and he really kind of showed me so this is how you run the boats, the Parker, and, you're going to want to do this and you want to do that, timing, all that. I knew how to treat the customer. I was taught very well by everyone there. I knew how to catch the fish with the rod and reel. I knew how to illustrate it to them. It was just logistics and boat handling kind of from there, and how to position the boat on the spot. I was always used to the captain saying, all right, give it a try. And then I try, and that's where I would succeed getting them. Yeah. But then that next step of positioning and going and actually making the call to stop the boat and all that, that was kind of brought up by Brandon. Really kind of let me spread my wings there. And then the next step was when Tommy hired me, and his intention was for me to run the boat. And honestly, it's kind of the same. Cool. It's kind of the same premise. A little Parker and a big long range boat. It's just kind of a little bit more exponentially. The assets are bigger. Yeah. But it's the same premise as far as you leave, you fish, you come back, you do it safe, you have a good time. And even Tommy said that. He's like, "Oh, it's the same thing."
Yeah. Same thing. It's just fishing.
Same thing. It's just bigger. Just don't. You know. Yeah. You can't put your arm out and push away from a boat when you're parking it. But That's cool. He taught me a couple other things, and so Tommy definitely took me under his wing for that, for the running the boat kind of thing. Brandon really helped guide me into the working part of the industry, as well as running the boat, and Pat did a hell of a job introducing me to the customer service and the deck portion, and
that's cool,
and helped me along.
So
the
a lot of
whole
great
way.
people helped you out.
It really is. There's no single one. It's just a desire to want to do what what you love for a living, and then having great people along the way to help you reach that goal.
Fantastic.
So those are some that I can name off my head. And of course, my dad and my parents would let me do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, you're fortunate for sure. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. When we come back, we're going to talk to Gundy Gunderson and get that surf fishing guru information about what's going on in the surf and a lot more. Let's Talk Hookup. You stay tuned. This is Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app and radio network.
This is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. Cedros Island is considered the yellowtail and calico bass fishing capital in the world, and nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. We are committed to providing first-class service to our guests, as well as an unforgettable fishing experience. We have made a good thing even better. We now have a direct flight departing to the CBX in San Diego. Leave home in the morning and fish in the afternoon. We have a beautiful waterfront lodge with first-class accommodations and meals. What are you waiting for? Call me at 619-772-7570 or check out cedrosportfishing.com. Book soon. Trips are going fast.
Fifth Avenue Insurance has a new name. It's Snap Insurance, still providing anglers and boaters with the best in boat insurance and the lowest rates. The experts at Snap Insurance will make sure your boat and property are covered right. Traveling to Mexico? Snap has you covered. You can even work with your agent to wrap your home and auto with your boat policy to save even more. Call them for advice on your current boat policy or any of your insurance needs. Snap Insurance, 800-527-6617 or snapins.com. That's SNAPPINS.com.
We all need to get around, but we all need something different from our vehicles. Your San Diego County Ford dealers have you covered if you're looking for a new truck this month. Plus, it's SUV season, so they have great deals for everyone. Whether it's a new EcoSport that is nimble and fun around town, or the Ford Explorer that is capable of putting a boat in the water and has seating for 7, Ford has you covered. Ford trucks and SUVs aren't just powerful and legendary. They have the latest technology that helps you seamlessly connect your smartphone and ensure you're safe on the road. Features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist on trucks are truly a game changer at the ramp, helping you back up a trailer by simply turning a knob on the dash and doing the hard work for you. So check out all the great deals during SUV season and save some money on the right gear for you. Learn more at buyfordnow.com or visit your San Diego County Ford dealers today. They'll be glad to hook you up.
Shimano has done it again. An amazing lever drag 2-speed reel at an affordable price. It's Speedmaster 2, the extremely durable, high-performance Speedmaster 2 with high maximum drag power and a smooth, ultra-wide range of drag adjustability is an absolute fish-fighting machine. Its rigid hogany body prevents misalignment of moving parts under the heaviest loads. Plus, a spare drag cam is included for optimal use with monofilament lines. The Speedmaster is now available in 4 models, 12, 16, 20, and 25. This is the perfect reel for the angler looking for a powerful, lightweight, smooth casting reel for tuna or other powerful saltwater game fish at more affordable price. Nothing in its class can match the Shimano Speedmaster 2, built to provide high-end performance and durability in a compact, lightweight frame. Get the Shimano Speedmaster 2 lever drag reel at your local Shimano dealer. Check Shimano.com for all the details.